Painting, drawing, photography, sketching, sculpting. These are all forms of art that most people find beautiful. But have you ever thought a bug could be art too? When people hear insect pinning, they often think of something creepy or disturbing. But what many people don't realize is that insect displaying is actually art that combines creativity, science, and appreciation even for the creepy crawlers.
In this video, we're going to cover a few things: what insect pinning really is, why people do it, common misconceptions, and how a display is actually created.
To dig deeper, I interviewed two experts.
One is an artist who pins bugs as a craft and a personal passion. The other is a museum entomology curator who pins insects for scientific research. Both had amazing insight, and comparing their perspectives really highlights the difference between pinning as a hobby and pinning for science.
So why do people display bugs? For some, like museum curators, pinned insects are used for research and tracking biodiversity. The curator explained that insects are extremely hard to identify without physical specimens, and properly preserved insects allow scientists to study species for decades, helping track changes such as habitat loss, species change, and climate impacts over time.
Because the goal is scientific, most of the insects in the collection are euthanized. Methods like freezing or placing them in alcohol are quick and efficient, and the focus is on the data rather than seeing each insect as an individual life. The artist's approach, on the other hand, is very different. It seems deeper and more personal. She said that her insects are never killed just for art. Only specimens that are already deceased, or, in rare cases, humanely euthanized if suffering, are used. Now, how exactly are insect displays actually made? The insect artist walked me through her process step by step. If a specimen is freshly deceased and flexible, it can be pinned right away. If not, it is rehydrated using damp paper towels in a container in the fridge until it's flexible enough to manipulate. Then a central pin is placed through the thorax, and the insect is positioned on a pinning board to dry. This hardening process can take anywhere from a few days to even a few months. Once dry, the insect is transferred into a shadow box, and then you're all done. Time to bust some myths. Many people think insect pinning is cruel, immoral, or morbid. The insect artist was super clear that this is far from the truth. She doesn't kill insects unless they're already dying and suffering. Then she uses a quick, compassionate method. She also always does her research to ensure that she is not negatively impacting populations of specific species by collecting them. For her, it's about honoring life and their beauty, not celebrating death. For the museum curator, he stated that for scientific collections, euthanizing is done as quickly and humanely as possible, and collecting usually has almost no impact on wild populations. In fact, he is actually potentially helping the number of species due to the information and help that comes from his research. Insect pinning is not just sticking bugs on a board. It's a delicate art form that requires patience, creativity, respect, and even ethics. Displays educate, preserve biodiversity, and challenge misconceptions about insects. And honestly, it makes me look at butterflies, moths, and beetles in a whole new way. So next time you see a pinned insect, don't just think, ew, dead bug. Think of the care, creativity, and story behind it, and maybe you'll start to see the art in the insects around you.